Hey everybody, Mike with Games Play Badly, and today on Session 0 I have Jess from Works of Whimsy Studio. Now, I'm sure you've seen her stuff out on Twitter. It's all over the place, and this is something that I ordered for myself. It is this awesome book, and it has a drawer in it. And she sent me some tokens with my logo on them, just to test out some materials so that way we can order some more stuff from her. So she's amazing and she has such great stuff that she's created. I can't wait for you to meet her. As usual, I actually have my Dungeon Glitch t-shirt on. You can't see it as well, but I love them. These are from Gem Firefly. If you'd like to get this shirt or something like it, go to gemfirefly.com, and when you get ready to check out, put in Badly15, B-A-D-L-Y 15 for 15% off your order. Can't wait for you to meet Jess. That interview starts now. Hey Jess, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm better now that I got a chance to talk to you. You have people on Twitter probably know you fairly well, but Works of Whimsy Studio, and you create all these amazing products.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I have a couple down here with me. Kind of hard to see with my virtual background. There we go. This goes over a door, and this is how what attracted me to you was you have one of those that is a Displacer Beast kitten, which I had to get. I also have the dragon, and that's the dice, and then I believe it's a bookend that I still have not assembled yet, and I want exactly, and I want to keep it bare because I'm going to paint it.
Yes.
Because I think that's going to be really cool. I just have not gotten around to it.
That's why I had to sell them in kits.
Yeah, right.
So that everyone could paint it themselves.
Absolutely. I have also these magnets. They're 20-sided dice shapes. I think these are wonderful. There we go. These are wonderful. So you have some new creations out. You have these little storage boxes that you put together. Those are pretty awesome.
Thank you. I'm a big book reader. I always have been, and so I'm always been obsessed with tiny boxes. I like putting things in tiny boxes.
Sure.
And so really kind of plays into that, and I can put dice in it, I could put something else in it, I could put whatever I want, and I could line them up on tiny bookshelves, and it's just like all of my favorite things.
I find you to be incredibly creative. I absolutely love the fact that there's a little bookshelf for all your little books.
There is.
And I find it fantastic. So how did you get started doing this?
So I've been kind of into art and kind of making things just as a hobby my whole life. I love doing it, but never pursued it. I went through school, went through college as a veterinary technician for 15 years, kind of did art just to unwind. My mom got me into alcohol ink painting and acrylic pour painting. We did that together. Yes. That's where the Etsy started, was the two of us attempting to occasionally sell a painting to further buy more art supplies, and never really had time for much of anything else. So lost my job a year ago, and I've had all kinds of ideas floating around in my head that I had never had time for. So I had time.
Right.
So
we all have a lot of time. Yeah. Well, I'm very grateful that you did, because I absolutely love what you create. So now these are typically, I would imagine, are these laser cut pieces as well, and laser engraved?
A lot of laser cut. There's some 3D printed pieces, the big D20s, the storage ones, and we actually have the whole set of 7 dice now. The inside connectors are all 3D printed.
That's awesome. I love those things. I think they're so cool.
And I will give props because my husband is an engineering and math teacher. And so he is the one who figures out all the geometry and the angles and models the pieces.
Yeah.
So those are his babies.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine trying to make a dodecahedron, I think that's what a D20 is, but trying to engineer that in a wooden form is pretty complicated.
It took him a little while to figure out all the little angles he needed for the inside connectors, but he's great. He's amazing.
That's awesome. I love the fact that you're both doing this together. We talked about how we both kind of got started doing something, and COVID was a big challenge for a lot of us. And while I was able to be gainfully employed throughout, business had kind of dropped off, and I needed something to keep me sane. And so that's the reason why this channel exists. And you had to find something to keep you sane. And so you started creating. And now this is your, like, you can't keep some of your things in stock. I know you just released a bunch of your mini books that were painted. And I was like, oh, goody, because I went up there and there was nothing left originally. And you're like, don't worry, there's new stuff coming out. And I went to go get some, and half of the stuff that I wanted was sold out already. So that's pretty incredible.
It's unbelievable. Finding Twitter and finding the little nook of awesome other creators and people who support creators in the TTRPG sphere on Twitter has allowed me to do this 100%.
Yeah, it's an amazing community. We were just talking about our t-shirts. I have my Gem Firefly shirt on, which I have in every interview, and you are wearing.
I've got an 88 Riddles design on mine.
See, there we go. So I love the fact that we're helping each other, and also I love to watch creators just take off, and it seems that like that's what's happening.
And I've heard it before in the little TTRPG making community. I said, we're not competition, we're a community. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I will sing my praises to every other creator that I love, even if we do similar things.
Sure. I think that you're absolutely right. There are people who have picked up the interview mantle, which is much of what I do. And I try and support them as much as I can. Interviewers, if you ever need my support or my help, I'm right there with you. I don't really create anything. I paint miniatures, and those are already created. Awesome. Well, I mean, they're already created, but I'm always astounded by people who are true artists. I mean, people who can actually create something that didn't exist before. And so that's the reason why I love your stuff. I think the door decorations and stuff, like, I'd never seen anything like that before. What inspired you to do that?
I had seen book nooks before out in the world, and they're usually intricate, kind of like almost like little doll houses. And they were always so expensive. I could never justify buying myself one. And so that idea was swimming in my head for a long time. And then we got the laser, and I finally had the capability to cut pieces that I needed. Sure. And I thought, what better to make my first little nook than to be a little tavern for all of my D&D minis, so they could hang out on my bookshelf in between adventures.
Absolutely. I love it. I think it's so creative, and it's so much fun to watch you post stuff that you're creating, because I know it comes from a place of love, and I just love it. I ordered my little storage book because I want to put my dice in there. So, and I got one of the painted ones because they're so flipping cool. They really are. So the designs that you laser etch on everything is something that you've done, or are you partnering with somebody with the artwork?
The designs for the books of holding, some of them are mine, and some of them are actually 88 Riddles. They're Jay's. Okay. And so I have a collaboration with him that he's letting me use his designs, and of course I'm paying him for his art.
Good. Yeah.
And so he buys up the big D20s as well, and does some really amazing paint jobs on those. He does a galaxy one.
Cool.
Yeah, because I have one. It's so awesome.
I cannot wait to see it. Oh, wow. Look at that. And he painted that?
He took what I made, which is the box, and then he did the paint job on the outside. And it is so cool. Gorgeous.
It is. I love that you guys have synergized like that. And that I think that is a word, right? Synergized?
Yeah.
Now. Yeah, sometimes I say things and I'm like, did I make that up, or is it real? I don't know.
It sounded like a real word.
And that's the thing, is you got to sell it. You got to sell the word. No matter what comes out of your mouth, you got to sell it. So do you have any new stuff that you're thinking about? I mean, a lot of the stuff that you're doing is new. I mean, those big, exactly what you showed, the big dice and everything, that's fairly new for you.
So we just finished the rest of the dice that match this size. So we had the D20 for a while, and we finally have all of them. They don't open yet. That's my husband's summertime project.
There you go.
Because I need his engineering mind to do the angles for me. A couple months off in the summer because of the teacher gig. And so that's his big project this summer, is to try and make as many of them openable and put stuff in as possible.
Very cool. I like that. I can envision those being in a video behind me sometime soon.
I said, I don't know if you've seen the very big one.
I think I saw a little. I think I saw when I was going through the website. I think I did see it, but yeah.
The Leviathan.
Wow.
I can fit 3 cats inside.
I think that's the reason why I realized how big that was, because you took pictures of cats in there. So I was like, wow, that is.
I did not intend to make a really nerdy cat bed, but I did.
I have 4 cats, so I'm a big cat lover myself.
So.
We had 5, but 1 died. So
and mine are the one who claimed it most recently. She's 18. So she gets whatever she wants, really.
Absolutely. We've had our cats live exceptionally long lives, which I'm very thankful for, but they get whatever they want when they hit 16.
And so, yeah, we've got, the great big one. I feel like we need to like make a tabletop for.
Yeah. Oh, no. Can you imagine like a big D20 with like a glass tabletop on it? That would be incredible. Oh, I think I see a new product coming your direction.
The problem with that is once you go that big, they get really hard to ship.
Yeah. We were just recently at a Star Trek convention, and there was a guy there who does all these amazing like enamel tables, and they are so flipping cool. But I can only imagine what the shipping would be. Cost wise,
the ones with like the river in the middle, and they put the minis and pour on top of
it. There's those, and then there are ones that are like shaped like the Enterprise.
Oh my gosh,
like it's just so cool. And I was like, oh my god, I want one of these things. But A, I'm at a convention, so I'm not carrying this thing around with me. B, do I really want to spend this money just this second? Probably not. And C, even if I did buy it, how would I get it home? I mean, you got to figure out how to get in the car.
Yeah, the giant, the Leviathan D20, we only sell in kits just because I could not ship a thing.
Absolutely, yeah. So they're like flat kits, so you can just kind of put it all together.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like an IKEA.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to come up with the appropriate IKEA name for it. It's like a flungahunga or
and the little instructions with no words.
Absolutely, and you're always missing one screw, always. Always missing it. Well, Jess, I absolutely love your products. I think they're fantastic. I can't wait to see what you create next. I do a little thing with my guests where I do a lightning round, or I make up the name every time I do it. And it's some hard-hitting questions I'm going to ask you just so we get to know you a little bit better. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Now, you signed a consent form before I asked these questions, so there's no legally binding issue here. Cake or pie?
Cake.
Yeah, what's your favorite cake?
Chocolate with frosting made out of a combination of chocolate pudding and whipped cream.
I've never had.
It's the fluffiest, lightest, lovely frosting.
That sounds.
That's what my mom always made me for my birthdays.
That sounds wonderful. I'm gonna have to try that. If you have a recipe, send it to me so I can try it.
It's literally you just fold a thing of whipped cream into a chocolate
pudding.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow, that you just kind of blew my mind. Okay. All right. Spring or fall?
Spring.
You like spring?
I like things coming up and flowers coming out.
I do too. I enjoy it, but I like the smell of fall. Like the leaves fair. And now I would imagine you play all sorts of games.
Yes.
If you had to choose your favorite board game, what would that be?
Oh gosh. That's hard. We have a large board game collection.
Anyone who's worth their salt has a large board game collection.
Right. Oh, that is a hard-hitting question.
Give me your top 3.
All right. Well, a card game, I'll say Sushi Go, because we play that with my family all the time.
Okay. That's great. If it's a family game and people can play it, absolutely.
Carcassonne.
Oh, yes. Good game.
And I'm gonna say Dead of Winter.
I've never played that.
Zombie survival, almost like an RPG.
Okay.
It's a lot of setup, but then once it's real good.
You need to send me these on Twitter so that we the other 2 I'm familiar with, but that one I've never heard of. So yeah, send me a link to that. I'll take a look at it.
Absolutely.
When you play RPGs or TTRPGs, what is your favorite class?
Druid.
You like druids, huh?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about a druid?
Shape changing.
Yeah, I could see why that's probably one of your. As a matter of fact,
Shape changing and speak with animals has been my heart's desire since I was a very little girl.
Well, and it works right with because one of your products is a shape changing tracker.
Yes.
And it also has a little dry erase thing there for your hit points, so you can keep track of it there.
And most of what we make is because I want it, or because we want it. It's
sure.
We will never make something that we would not have in our home.
Right.
That way, if it flops, we at least made something for ourselves.
That's true. Or a lot of things for yourselves.
Right. Well, and luckily, lots of our stuff is made to order. So I
was going to ask you.
And then once it's designed, I will just make them as orders come in. So we don't have a lot of stock sitting around.
Oh, good. That's smart. That's smart.
But yeah, the Druid tracker is because I would forget how many wild shapes I had left. And I'm always writing and erasing my extra hit points from wild shaping. So I needed one. So I made
I agree with you on that one. A lot of us use D&D and Beyond to keep track of stuff now, but I was a big pen and paper guy pencil paper guy back in the day. And you could always tell how old your character sheet was by the hole that was in it from where your hit points were, and you're constantly so matter of fact, I have notebooks full of holy paper. So you also mentioned that you were a big book reader. What was the author that got you into reading?
The author that got me into reading?
Right. What was that author that, because for me it was Beverly Cleary, Ralph S. Mouse. Mm-hmm. Loved those books when I was a kid, and that got me into reading.
Probably Ian McCaffrey, the Pern Rider series, Dragons.
Wow. Yeah.
Suck me with dragons. I think the Ian McCaffrey books were the first ones I remember reading that weren't intentionally written for children or for, young adolescents. So it was the first book that didn't try and talk to a child. Right. And I was hooked immediately.
That's awesome. I love that. Jess, it has been an absolute pleasure getting a chance to talk to you. I cannot wait to see what you create. I am anxiously awaiting my little book storage box, because the painting that you do on there is incredible.
I think it's sitting right here. Do you want to see it?
I do.
Yeah. Which one is yours? You gotta tell me.
I got the Arctic dice one, I think. I think it's a blue one with the dice on the front. I think.
Is it the dice or is it the adventure one?
I think it's the adventure one.
Okay, I think it's the adventure one.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That is so odd, because it does have a dice set, but it has like mountains behind it and stuff, right?
There you go.
Oh, I love it. That's so awesome. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Well, now, see, the thing is, now that you actually have the bookshelf to go with it, now you have to collect them all. It's like Pokemon.
It's really hard for me not to just keep making them for myself.
Sure.
And fill up all my bookshelves with all the little books.
Well, now you have a new one, actually, that you developed that can hold cards, right?
It's in the works. I said it's right here, too. So it'll be the same kind. It's a little bit bigger.
Uh-huh.
But it'll hold a deck of cards.
Okay.
With a little magnet on the back. That way it won't pop open in your bag and spill your cards everywhere.
Yeah, that could be bad, especially if they're very expensive magic cards.
I will use it for my Druid spell cards and my Druid wild shape cards. Because
you are a Druid. You're a Druid fan through and through.
Yeah, I've got my wild shape cards.
Oh, I love that. I think it's fantastic. But
classes, but they always end up like it's a paladin who's kind of like a druid.
But that's fine. That's perfectly fine, right? That's what you got to love about role-playing games. You can be whatever you want.
Exactly.
Jess, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you on. I wish you the absolute best, and I will continue to order whatever you make.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. I feel like a full set of those large dice are in my near future.
I won't lie. We have our set on the mantelpiece upstairs.
Oh, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? Fantastic. Now, if you could just roll them, I guess you could, but it probably wouldn't work out very well.
We have a game table with a felted surface,
and
you can roll them on that.
That would be really fun. I just it harkens back to the Price is Right in Plinko for some reason for me.
Yes.
I just anyway. All right, Jess, I could talk to you for hours, but you need to go. I need to go. We will talk soon. I absolutely love your products. Thank you so much for being on, and I cannot wait to get my old book.
Thank you so much.